was also the beginning of the Mark Twain Zephyr from St. Louis to Burlington.
Ralph Budd and my grandfather was interested in stainless steel.
I don't know how he got in contact, but now enter part 2 of the story, the Mark Twain Zephyr.
I really hope that my first train ride is on the Zephyr.
Thanks so much for joining us for another update on MarkTwainZephyr.com, also our Facebook and Twitter pages at Mark Twain Zephyr. I'm Robert Tabor, Director of Passenger Development for the Wisconsin Great Northern Railroad, and it's great to have you along for another one of our Sunday video updates on the Mark Twain Zephyr. It is Sunday afternoon, November the 14th, 2021, and we're getting our first measurable snow up here in the Northwoods this weekend, so hopefully it's a little bit warmer where you are. Well, last week we took you out to meet Jim Bauer, who was working on some of the wastewater tanks for the various cars of the Mark Twain Zephyr. Well, we got our first tank back for the Huckleberry Finn, and Bob and our other crew members have been working really hard all week long to install it underneath the train.
Last time you saw this tank, it was in the process of being made. This is as far as it's gotten. Got a lot of stuff going on just because we're trying to get everything winterized as far as equipment and that, so a lot of bouncing around, but we did. It is completed. It's all welded together. Inside here is, well, there's a heating element and stuff in there. This is the tank that gets filled with antifreeze, and there's an element in there that heats that, which keeps the interior of the tank hot, not hot, just warm enough, and all the contents in there from freezing. And then
so this is the one we saw last week at
correct.
Out at your friend's yard there.
Yeah, and then now that it's been insulated, it will get covered on the exterior with steel, and then all the corners get corner bead on it. Just it helps hold the heat, keeps the air off everything. Otherwise this stuff just starts to break down after a while. Birds and just everything that you can imagine peck at it, chew on it.
And the styrofoam is needed because of our cold winters here?
Insulation, absolutely. Got it, the inlet on this side and outlet down on the bottom. But my game plan is to be installing this on Tuesday.
Okay, so maybe next week we'll get a chance.
We will. It will be. It will be. I got just about everything else taken care of that needed to be done because we had a little break in weather. It's been a few warm days, and we've been very fortunate that we haven't been bombarded with cold or even snow yet. So we're trying to get things cleaned up and organized a little bit ahead of the game instead of behind the game.
This is the first one, and then I think you mentioned that he was
next weekend or next, not this coming Monday, but the following Monday, I'll pick up the one for the Tom Sawyer, which we're going to go over there next because the bathrooms in the Tom Sawyer are just about 100%. Besides hooking everything up underneath.
Okay, so let's head out there and check that out.
Sounds like a plan.
Wow, magically transported into the Tom Sawyer.
Here we are.
All right. So what have you done in the last week here?
Well, last time it was just open and we were pulling all of the wires and getting the plumbing in.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's pretty close to being done. We won't be able to connect the toilets. A couple more small pieces of trim to go in there and close up some electrical, but she's pretty near done. Were you taking pictures of the tile?
Yeah,
oh,
lovely.
Look at that.
So we'll have two, obviously. One men and women's, I guess.
No, it's not separated, but the toilets will sit in on a little bit of an angle here. Just a little bit of an angle. Just to keep your, it's tight quarters, but I've been on smaller ones. In smaller ones.
I see we have the commode all.
Yeah.
Go out here whenever you have time.
But just like everything else, everything is made you know, each piece, you see, we make all our own, you know, we make the corner bead, I make the tracks for the electrical. Everything is cut individually for each particular thing that we do, so it gets time consuming, you know.
About how many more hours of work do you think you have?
On the interior here,
Yeah.
just a few.
Okay.
Just a few. Hopefully in the next week or so we'll be tackling the 2 ceilings in here. This ceiling here and the one in the vestibule, because really like to get this, you know, 100% in here, and then get this one, and I think I had made the comment, this one and the FED pretty much completed by the end of Thanksgiving week. And I think we'll be very close to that. Be some loose ends to tie up, but as things go, there's always loose ends to tie up. I mean, as things shift and twist and move so much, there's always something that will need to be adjusted or tweaked, or they have came a long way. It would just be nice to get everything done and cleaned out, all the tools out, because unfortunately, if we're waiting for this part or waiting for that piece, we're continuously dragging tools and dirt and, you know, back and forth and, you know, from car to car, and it just makes it hard because you spend a lot of time looking for stuff. You know, and then you're continually back and forth cleaning it every time you go in there to work in it. It'll just be nice to have this one done 100%. The FED is very close. I mean, besides putting a tank in underneath and hooking up the water and all that, so I think the goal will be hit. That's my goal.
All right, thanks so much, Bob. And yeah, it's been a busy week with the crews installing the wastewater tank. And they'll come back here tomorrow, and they'll be hard at work on our next wastewater tank that will be going into place on the Tom Sawyer. And we'll bring you that and much more next Sunday, November the 21st, on our update. Until then, have a great week, everybody.
Thanks so much for joining us for another update on the Mark Twain Zephyr at the Wisconsin Great Northern Railroad. Before you leave, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. You can do this by clicking on the red subscribe button. That way, you'll be among the first to know when we post our next update. And be sure to check out marktwainzephyr.com, where we post additional content during the week. You can also watch previous update videos you might have missed. We are also on Facebook and Twitter at Mark Twain Zephyr.
It was so far ahead of its time. It was going to be made out of stainless steel.
Did he design the whole
He designed the whole train.
Sometimes the Mark Twain Zephyr was so crowded, she would have to stand between Lucy and him.
You know, the stainless steel cars, and I, you know, at that age and young, and how bright it was, and